And now, Quintara Lane, a community activist who founded the LQ Lane Awareness Movement, Inc., a nonprofit organization geared to train HIV-positive youth to become public speakers. Born HIV positive, she will share with us the strength, courage, and confidence that she has gained throughout her life.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you. So we are here. And I'm pleased to be here today. Today, of course, is Youth Awareness, HIV Awareness Day. I'm a little bit nervous because I always talk what is important about what I say, and especially to the youth. The youth means so much to me. As a young child myself, I've never known a generation of being, they have now what this saying called HIV-free generation. And I never known that. I've never known that. My entire 28 years of living has been evolved around HIV. As a child, I was consuming medication that adults was taking as well. The medication itself could have killed me. And yet I'm still here. As a child, I was born in a society to where HIV, they didn't know what to do with babies being born with it. They did not know how to treat the babies. And of course, my peers, my friends, who I was subjected to, they passed away. As a child, it's been tremendously hard dealing with this, especially within the school system, because I was brought up with my grandmother who always say, never tell your business. Our secret is our secret. So therefore, I knew that I had these medications that I had to take. I knew that I had to leave school early sometimes because I have to go to the doctor to get blood work drawn. I knew that in my classrooms, I had to sit with water. While the teachers back then, they used to paddle the kids. We need to bring that back. They used to paddle the kids to where if you're getting in trouble, you couldn't bring any drinks, any food inside the classrooms, yet I was the one who had the drinks on her table. I was the one who had snacks. So the kids seen me and it was like being bullied. Well, why does she get special privileges? Well, why is she doing this and we can't do that? That's my life. That has been my life. My mother gave birth to 3 girls. I have a sister who's in her late 30s. Again, I'm 28. And I have another sister who's 27. I have the virus and they don't. It happens that way. HIV does not pinpoint who gets what, when, or where. You can have sex one time and get this disease. You could never have sex and get this disease. Why? Because people are uneducated to know how is this disease even exposed. How can you get this disease? How can you prevent this disease from happening? As I grew up, I used to love singing. One of my biggest performances was in Carnegie Hall my 6th grade year. And that's all I wanted to do was to be a singer. I wanted to be the next Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey. Unfortunately, that dream was scattered. It was gone. For 2 years, I stopped taking my medication, thinking that everything was okay. I felt good, I looked good. No, everything was okay. I was lying to the doctor saying that I was taking my medication. Of course, they knew I was lying because when I go in to do my blood work, the numbers show that my virus inside of me was increasing and my T cells was decreasing. But no, I was taking my medication. You all don't know what you're talking about. Your system must be wrong. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And I wasn't. I was flushing the medication. I was hiding them under my pillows. I was doing everything I could not to take the medication because I was tired. I was tired of the side effects that it caused. I was tired of just dealing with pills, liquid, the taste of it, the smell of it. My grandmother in the kitchen bamming the pills on a cabinet, mixing it in Sunny Delight to get me to take my medication. I was tired of it. So I stopped. 2 years down the line, completely fine, everything, continued on with after school activities. But this particular day I woke up, I remember it like yesterday. I woke up and
I wasn't feeling well. Something was wrong. I was vomiting. I couldn't stop. I was lightheaded. My grandmother said, "Did you take your medicine?" Yeah, I took my medicine. She slapped me because she knew I was lying, told me to go in there and take the medicine. I took the medicine. I could not hold anything down. Right then and there, she knew something was wrong. So she was just like, just lay down and get you dressed. Next thing you know, I was in Jackson Memorial Hospital, ICU unit, fighting for my life. I had no blood pressure. I had no T cells. And I was literally pronounced dead. I woke up. I seen the tubes down my throat, the oxygen mask. I seen IV needles, everything coming from me. It was the worst experience ever. The worst. Right then and there, it was like, what's down my throat? What's going on? Why am I here? I was given 2 options. I stayed in the hospital for about a month to recover. And I was given only 2 options. Either take the medicine or you die. Of course, I did not want to die. So I knew it was something I had to do. Right then and there, as a youth, as a teenager, at the age of 13, 14, I decided to educate myself. I was like, I'm going to learn everything there is to learn about HIV so I won't have to die. I'm going to make sure I'm on the community advisement board. I'm reading up on the HIV statistics, knowing what's going on, so that if anything happened, I could be able to say, okay, well, let me try this or let me try that. And it was hard, and it get very intimidating as a youth, challenging the doctors, challenging the scientists about your life. This is Youth Day for HIV/AIDS awareness. And you as a youth, if you're not HIV positive, you don't never have to be HIV positive. If you don't have any STD, you never have to have an STD. And it all starts with here. It all starts with feeding your brain as much as you can. Because at the end of the day, you only gonna live for you. At the end of the day, I had to live for me. My mom passed when I was 11. My dad died when I was 2. So therefore, I was like an orphan. The questions I had, I couldn't get any answers because my grandmother didn't know. The only 2 people knew, they was gone. So of course, I had to just forgive, and I had to continue to move forward with my life. And that's what I've done. I moved forward to know that, okay, those 32 medications I used to take back in the 80s and the 90s, now down to about 5 pills once a day. They even have a pill now to where you're taking 1 pill once a day. But yet it's not enough, because they coming out with new medication for prevention. However, there's still youth who are born with this virus who may have went through all the medications, having trouble with accessing them due to the fact that there's new restrictions. There's some things that are coming about that we, and I say we, myself as someone who's never lived a life without HIV, don't even know about. As much as I can research things, as much as I can go about getting access to things, it's hard. It's very hard, but you have to keep pushing forward. You have to. HIV/AIDS, it is a life-changing experience. It is. Again, I go to the doctor every 3 months to get my blood work drawn. And of course, I'm cute. I want to date. I want to have a social life. So I have to take the medication. I have to do what I'm supposed to do. Dating, HIV, it's hard. Let me say, in the state of Florida, it is a law that you must disclose your status if you are sexually active before engaging in sex, or you will go to jail. I'm too cute to go to jail, so that's not going to happen. However, it is a law in the state of Florida. So now we have this law here to where people are not really conscious of it. It's just like running a red light. You see people who run a red light. You see people who run a stop sign. They're disobeying the laws. There's people out there who will sleep with you, knowing that they have HIV, and yet they won't tell you. That's why you have to be empowered of taking care of yourself. When I was dating, my first experience with dating ever, I'm a 9th grader. I found interest in a upperclassman, of course. He's cute. He's driving a nice cars, the rims, everything that a girl would look for back then. And it was hard because, of course, I knew my status, but I wasn't going to tell him because I'm not sexually active. So we decided to go out on a date. We went to the movies. After the movies, we went and had ice cream. My grandmother doesn't know anything because she thinks I'm in tennis practice. Now she knows. But it was more or less of me doing something outside that I wasn't supposed to do, going on a date for one with a guy who I don't really know too much about. Well, after we got our ice cream, he parked his car in a parking lot. Why are we here? What's going on? Here it is, this guy who don't know me, trying to push himself up on me to have sex. He's touching me, and I'm like, get off of me. He's trying to push himself up on me to the fact where I just said, I asked him, what if I told you I have HIV? He told me, you don't look like you have HIV, stop being afraid. Well, what does HIV look like? My next question. Why would you say something like that? And here it is, me telling him, because I have HIV, I have AIDS. He pulled the gun from under his seat and told me to get out his car. So here I am trying to save a life, and he's trying to take my life. Right then and there was my decision of saying, I need to be the face of AIDS. For one, it was a very scary experience for me due to the fact of, again, I'm trying to save your life. I don't know you. I don't want anything. I have something I don't want. However, I'm not going to give it to you or anybody else. So why would you do that? All these questions is flowing through my mind like nonstop while I'm walking home in the hot sun with the ice cream. I done threw it on the floor trying to get out the car. It's a lot. It is a lot. And all that kept the words of him, you don't look like you have AIDS. You could be sitting beside someone right now who don't look like they have AIDS, and yet they do. Ms. Kira said it earlier. What's the difference between HIV and AIDS? HIV is the first stage of coming in contact with the virus. You have to be exposed to someone with HIV in order to get HIV. Once that exposure come about, your white blood cells are attached. That's what HIV attached to. They like to reproduce themselves inside your body. They attach to your DNA. That's why it's so hard to find a cure now. So here it is, we have this virus inside of us that wants to kill us and breaks us down. And eventually it does when you don't take care of yourself. Once those numbers drop, your T cells, your white blood cells drop below 200 and you get an infection, then you're classified as having AIDS. In my case, I'm classified as having AIDS. When I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do, I was lying saying that I was taking my medicine and I wasn't. And I wound up in the hospital, almost dead. They classified me then as an AIDS case. To this day, I stand before you with over 1,000 T cells. My viral load is undetectable, meaning I'm not cured. There is no cure for HIV. However, I do have a virus inside of me that tries to take over, but it doesn't. So I'm not cured from HIV. It's just that the virus inside of me is suppressed, meaning the medicine is working. They are working. And again, it's hard, but I made it there. For right now, I have 2 beautiful children who are negative. I have a companion, someone who is well educated about the virus, who is very supportive. And it's just that it's a life-changing experience. I've learned how to live with HIV because for right now, it isn't going anywhere. However, I will continue to live until we have a cure. I didn't have a choice about my status, but I choose to live. And each and every last one of you in here can live. You can live a HIV-free generation as I gave my children.
that opportunity to live HIV free. Any questions? Well, I thank you all for having me.